Okay, so we're getting started here. We're going to be talking about reusable prompts. And what do I mean by that exactly? I mean that we've got um, prompts that are pretty important, stuff that we do over and over and over again. It does get a little bit back to the basics. I will agree with that statement if that was what was made. On the other hand, I think it's really necessary, but not before we let the mob in. Here we go. So great. We got great people joining us now. Really exciting stuff. Yeah. Ooh. Okay. The enthusiasm is boiling over. I just love that. Love that. Oh,
I'm enthusiastic. What are you talking about?
thank you. Thank you. I was waiting for that. You and Dirk in Denver, Dirk. We got all that. I'm just trying. And Hassan, not to be left out. Okay. We got Michigan in the house. So we got Deneen in Newport Beach. Real great stuff. I do hope that we're able to see each other. Uh, but regardless, I'm delighted that you actually are here.
So, Edmund, are you broadcasting from France or back
I'm
in?
not in France right now. That is not where I am. I was in France. I am now in Boca Raton, Florida, and I'm on a flight tonight to Los Angeles. So we got this is, and I'm not one of these. Globetrotters typically, but this is a pretty busy travel time, and it kind of worked out that way. My sister lives in France, and it was very nice seeing her there. And anybody have any travel? I'm just going to give everyone a minute to come in here. Anybody got any travel that's come up? Come on, it's the high season now. Nothing? Going fishing? Anyone? Okay, you guys are a lot of fun. Woohoo. Okay, so we're going to be talking about the prompt library. All of you should see in the chat that we've got a prompt library that we're going to build here together. So as we talk and as you come up with certain challenges and I build it out, I'm going to put that into a collective library that you could all share. The only thing that I ask is that you put in the chat that you'd like to receive it. And oh, Scott, you're in Brazil. That's cool. Okay, so I didn't see that before. Very cool. Wow. So if you'd like to get the prompt library, why don't you just drop your email address in here and we will send it off to you as this thing gets built. Aton is here. If you don't mind sending it off to them, that would be great. I invited everyone also through the
Well,
WhatsApp group. If you're a member here and not on the WhatsApp
where's the
group,
case for this? Do you have this out here like
then
this?
I'm just going to mute Michael Verucas out because we hear everybody. So, Aton, you got that? You're going to be able to send that link to people, maybe? Kind of, sort
Yes.
of? Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so great. So we're going to get right into it here. Prompts. Prompts are kind of going back a little bit old school here. I dare I say old school from a year and a half ago. We've talked less and less about prompts and more about skills and all sorts of stuff. I deliberately spoke with Aton about going back to the basics in all of this um, because I think it's really important. I think that it is something that really does matter. And I really do think that there's a structure of a prompt, and to be able to, set it up in the right way really does determine the difference between success and failure. Oh, we got Rick Musto coming in. Um, got a bunch of you going in here. So, one of the things that I want to do is talk about just what it is and how to actually do it. It's a set of commands that's going to produce a result for you. What I want to hear from all of you is the problems that you might have, um, and what we might be able to do to solve those problems with an actual prompt. And we're going to go through that one by one. For example, and I love to give examples here, share my screen. Always way too much stuff on the screen. So this is a prompt that I created. I have my Nespresso coffee machine, and I love my Nespresso. I drink it every time I'm in the meeting here. And one of the things with the Nespresso coffee machine is that to clean it, it's kind of, I've always watched the videos over and over again to do that. So instead, I just went to ChatGPT, and I'll give you an example here and why it applies to real estate, because I know all of you are dying to that. And I could say, create an infographic on how to use, somebody give me something quick. So a tool that you have at home, a pretty common thing that you might have.
Can opener.
What?
Can opener.
Oh, come on. We could do better than that, Rick. Come on.
A coffee machine.
What kind of coffee machine?
No,
God.
let's go
Oh.
with a Dyson ventilator or fan.
There's a Dyson fan.
Yeah, Dyson fan. Basically, here in Europe, we don't have air conditioner.
Okay, that's a
So
good point. Yeah, Aton sent me a clip that less than half of Europe has an AC, much less than half. How who knows how to spell Dyson?
Dyson.
Thank you. I could teach this course, but I can't spell. A Dyson Air, Aton, tell me what it is.
fan.
A Dyson fan. Okay. So this is going to be extremely basic, but that's what's coming up. Let me just show you what we did before, which is a little bit more complex. I put in here was discussing, I showed a picture of the Nespresso Virtuo Next, and I actually corrected it because I thought it was the Virtuo Pop. And it gave me instructions first, and then I was like, well, no, 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 why don't you make an infographic? And it created this actual infographic. Which again, we're doing now with the Dyson. You could see here that I gave a lot of detail, and I want you to see this. And again, we'll talk in a minute about how it applies to your real estate. Emptying the capsule, adding the water, doing all the stuff, turning the lock. So it gives me all the instructions. And then look at this. It actually created this, which I now taped onto the inner side of the cabinet right next to the machine. Let's see how this thing's coming along. It's still actually creating the infographic. Now, why am I so steadfast about these infographics? I think that they're pretty cool, and I think that it's something that you might not have thought about. You can create a step-by-step instruction, for example, if you have a team where you might be, say, teaching them how to use the MLS, use Flex MLS. I don't know who uses Flex MLS. Anybody? Okay, we got one, two. Who uses some other tools? What's another MLS that's out there? I know that there was Wildfire. What were some of the other MLSs?
Real comp?
Real Comp, very good. Was there another tool though?
Matrix. We have Matrix.
Matrix,
in
Matrix.
California.
Okay. My Virtuoso coffee, so good. So let's go back here and take a look. The more detailed on the prompts, the better. Up, and here's Aton's how to use a Dyson fan. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. I got to tell you, I'll zoom in on it here a little bit. Look, it's a lot easier than cleaning the
Coffee machine.
the coffee machine, because the coffee machine has many, many parts and you have to turn it a certain way. But with a very small set of prompts, this actually came up. And if you didn't know that you could do this, I'd like you to stop and think through some of the other things that you do that are repeatable tasks. And particularly if the group comes up with something that's a little bit more complex, we could go for it there. But this will be the first prompt.
You see, I didn't know that I could store the remote on top with number 7.
Okay, well, then that's great. I'm going into the prompt library here. Make one. There, how to create an infographic using a Dyson fan. Great. Now you guys, it's going to be, next one is going to be yours. Give me a prompt that I could actually put in there. Forget the infographic for a second. I just wanted this as an example. I promise this whole thing's going to make sense. Give me a prompt that you might use or something that you'd like to correct or utilize or do on your day-to-day work that we could now as a group get. Again, all of you are going to have access to this prompt library. Hopefully it's going to be a little bit better than just cleaning a coffee machine or working a Dyson fan. But I think you get the point that we could now build together a library. Think about your listings. Think about CMAs. Think about Teams or social media. Think about that. Give it a second. I'm going to stop talking for about 15 seconds and I expect somebody to jump out and tell me what they want to put on there.
Hey Ed, Dirk in Denver.
Hey, Dirk and Denver.
How about best practices for posting on social media for maximum exposure?
Okay, I love it. So let's take a look here. So the thing that you might not realize, which is what I wanted to get to, is you could use ChatGPT to help perfect your prompt. Now, what are the things that we're going to do? Now, Dirk, unmute yourself. I'm not done with you here. I gotta beat up on you a little bit. Tell me exactly what you're trying to achieve.
Posting across multiple social media platforms and just making sure that you're posting at the most opportune time, most eyes are seeing it, and best way for the algorithms to catch on and promote your posting.
Okay. So I want to create a prompt to post across multiple social media platforms. I want the output to tell us when, okay, based on the content, when to post it, and what else? And what?
Maybe the process for the algorithms to really to capture and promote your posting.
For the social media to capture to best highlight your posting. What time? What words? Yeah, let's do this. What time? What words? This is good. What else?
Would there be a certain order, or is there anything you can do on your own personal side for shares to start pushing yours to the top?
Okay, so this is going to be what we're calling a multi-part prompt because basically we're doing several different things here. I want to create a prompt across multiple social media platforms. I want the output to tell us based on the content when to post it and the process for algorithms, which I spelled wrong, I'll fix that in a minute, for social media to best highlight your post, what time, what words, what order, what social media, etc. Anything else that we could put in there? Let me just say this, break this down into several multi-step prompts to best serve my interest. Anything else that you think we could go with that to build the prompt? Maybe? No? Yes? No?
Good start.
Okay. So, now it's messy, it's a little odd. I'm making a prompt to create a prompt. So a lot of you don't realize that you could actually do that. Today we're working in ChatGPT. A lot of you said, "Hey Ed, why are you beating up on ChatGPT?" So, you're always using Claude. We'll talk about all that in a minute. But here, you are my social media strategist. I will provide a piece of content idea, article, video, property, event, announcement, or business message. First, analyze the content. So we got to paste the content, describe the business, describe the brand. If I put this in the chat, Dirk, can you put that together for us? Do you think you could put that up?
I can work on it. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So here's prompt step one. Again, all of you will have access to this. Oops. Still running. Sorry. And it's got multiple steps here. It's larger than I wanted, but here.
Yeah, Ed, just while that's running, I've been doing the ask for them to do a prompt for me. In other
Mhm.
words, you know, to have chat or Gemini, et cetera, do the prompt. I tell them a little bit, here's what I'm looking to accomplish. Write a prompt for me that's appropriate to get the most, you know, maximum value from what you create. And it's really cool.
Yeah. Look, it's great. It's great stuff. I've always felt that. Um, so here, Dirk, just let me know if you're able to get this. This was the prompt that actually the content or idea. I've got to actually put the other stuff up first. This was much, much larger than I actually thought. So Dirk, you can minimize it if you want. Let me just put this.
Perfect. I will work on it.
Yes, I appreciate it because I know you've been one of my big advocates for social media, so I want to be able to do it. So yeah, so you can basically create the prompt to do this. This was way, way, way more than I actually wanted. I'm going to go at it in a little bit. We're going to dumb it down just a little bit more, just for the sake of this meeting, and be able to say, can you build a prompt to um, uh, uh, based on what you know about me and my real estate team to promote my business specifically in condos in East Boca Raton. Okay, so I'm giving something very different because all of you have always heard me speak about country clubs, right? This is obviously different. Normally, I focus on gated communities. Please focus on condos only. Create a reusable Okay. So here, now it's going to do this. East Boca Raton condo prompt. So now it's got this whole understanding of who I am. And because it's got the context of everything that I've actually spoken about, it's giving me a pretty detailed prompt. In other words, let me go take a look at all of you for a second. In other words, the prompt, the ChatGPT or Claude or whatever you're actually using already knows everything about you. You know, people say, well, did you write your book or did AI write your book? Yes. Yes, it was both. Why? Because all these meetings and everything that we talked about over years is collectively stored in the AI. And you're able to now say, draw upon that. You know stuff about me already. Why don't you use that and actually, so you're not wasting your words from all these years. Don't you see how exciting that is? I mean, that's something that, you know, the context is actually known, and now you're going to be able to manipulate this and be able to use it for your own use. Let me just show you exactly what I mean. So here we could go back. This guy has actually created this prompt. I'm going to, once again, this thing's just got so much information. I'm going to say shorten this to one page only. Because the reality is that was way, way, way overkill for this example. But I want you to take a look at all of this. And we're going to get to this. You guys are going to be able to do the exact same thing, and I encourage you to do the exact same thing for yourselves. Let me open up. You know what? For the sake of doing this, let's create this in Claude, just so you guys could see. Boca Raton condo prompt. Act as a senior real estate marketing strategist, compliance reviewer. Create a polished marketing content For Edmund Bogen and the Edmund Bogen team at Douglas Elliman Real Estate, focus on condominiums in East Boca Raton. Do not discuss gated communities, country clubs, golf communities, West Boca, single-family homes, blah, 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 blah. Insert topic. Okay, we could say um, empty nesters. It's a big topic down here. Building or area. Waterfront. East Boca. Audience, we'll say sellers. We'll say buyers. Let's just keep it easy. Goals, generate leads, always. We all want to generate leads. Verified facts, massive movement in the market, people moving for tax reasons to Florida. Okay, platform, we're just going to keep it as Instagram. Call to action. We'll try something cool. Create a CTA based on what you know about me. Now look how lazy I could actually get. One strong marketing angle, one strong polished post, 3 hooks, educational, 1 concise social caption, 1 30-second video script, 1 email subject, blah, blah, blah. It's got all this stuff. Sophisticated, local, practical, and clear. So it's got all this stuff because it already knows about me. I'm hoping that your social media knows a lot about you. And now this is actually creating it. I'm going to show one other thing that I think will impress. If I do the exact same thing here, I'm going to take this and at the same time put it into ChatGPT, which you probably figured was my idea all along. ChatGPT is great with images, so I could actually put this on here. And let's see if it actually comes up with this. So ChatGPT is going to create the image based on that request. Claude is going to do the written stuff. The kids are out. The house is quiet. And you're doing math you've never done before. We're seeing significant movement into Florida right now. Tax considerations are a real part of the conversation for many buyers relocating here. But when empty nesters start looking for waterfront condominiums in East Boca, intracoastal, oceanfront, or the walkability pockets near downtown and Meisner Park, the decision usually comes down to something less glamorous than the view. It comes down to the building. So this is great. It's actually come up with the hooks, the social caption, the video script if I actually wanted to make a video, an email blast if I wanted to make a blast, some hashtags. It recommends the actual visual recommendation, which I hope that ChatGPT picked up on. We're going to find out in a second. It gives you certain stuff with compliance. I'm always worried about, like, ask Eitan. I'm a nervous Nelly. Fair housing, unsupported claims, tax language. Nobody wants to break any rules, right? So it's got all this stuff. Let's take a look what's coming up over here. The point of the story is this, that the AI already knows you and knows a lot about you, provided that you've always done the things that I said you should do. Spend the 20 bucks a month on your own account. Don't share it with your wife, your husband, your friend, or whoever it might be. Spend the 20 bucks a month on whatever AI you want, ChatGPT, Claude, it doesn't matter. If you're going to be free, fine. Go, use the free version, but please don't share it with somebody because you want the context to know a lot about you. Now, Dirk's probably biting his lip because I'm having a meeting with his wife later, and I have a feeling they share the same account. No worries. Okay, no, he's not. If you do, we could talk about workarounds. I know Eitan is like smiling because he shares it. I mean, again, even the pros here do it all the time, that it's one household. You think you could just share it. It is the natural thing. You only have one television set in your house, right? So
hey, it's not my choice. Okay,
it's not your choice. Yeah, you could. You also got to watch what you tell these AIs. If you want to make sure that somebody understands this. Okay, so this actually created an infographic. I'm not too nuts about it, but Boca Raton condo marketing prompt. So it actually created instructions for a prompt. This was not what I wanted, but it is still pretty interesting. Strong marketing angle. So it gives this whole strong marketing angle thing. interestingly enough, I could do something else where you take the if you're I know that there's a lot of content in this. One of the things that I can do is where am I? Not shared, not desktop, photo folder. Let's take a look. Okay, so here, well, it's a kind of an angry looking picture there. Okay. Use this content to market this guy in a an Instagram post. So now, once again, that was an AI image of me, by the way. I never took that photograph. I said, make me look a little bit evil. All my pictures look a little nice, so I said, make me look like I'm up to no good. And now we're actually seeing a loss of generation in the image because this is AI, it's making another AI. It's going to start to not look so much like me. Again, deliberately wanted to show you guys that today because you want to always try and use an original image. So you're taking a look at all this. From all this, you're going to be able to build your library. And that's what I'm trying to get to. We do the same stuff over and over and over again. We request the same things out of the AI. It understands who you are. So why not use it to actually build a platform for you that makes sense? That's what I'm trying to communicate here. And I think it's really, really important that you do consider that. Okay, talking too much. Give me something, guys. What are you guys working on? It could be accounting. It could be, we got end of quarter stuff. Oh, Eitan's waving. Eitan, go ahead.
Okay, so I love what you're doing here with the prompts, and I don't want to stump you, so excuse me, please.
Yeah, you always do
But
this. But go on.
but the whole idea here is a reusable library of prompts. So maybe you could ask Claude to build that for us.
So you want it built. Tell me about that, Eitan. And let's do this in a way that says we didn't plan this before the meeting.
We actually didn't. So maybe you could ask Claude to create
A library?
a page that will store the prompts that you just um what are you doing, Ed?
I'm just darkening myself out there.
I think you're trying to do the
I
fireworks.
was trying to do the fireworks. You're right. Okay,
And
so go ahead.
so I think that that would be time well spent to see how we can create an actual library and then to have a page that anybody could reference and use to go back to those prompts.
Okay, that's a good idea. I look way too evil for a real estate deal. Does anybody want to buy a home from this guy? Be honest. The short answer is fuck no.
Well, you look like the guy who bought the land.
Yeah. Okay, so what Eitan wants to do is just show exactly how you could use the use Claude to actually build a library. Eitan, why don't you give me the prompt?
So maybe you should go to the code part.
You want Claude, you want code, okay. Explain the difference to everyone.
Well, this can actually build stuff instead of just talk to you.
Okay, so let's
So
so what
we
I did
just
was I went from home to code. For those of you who have Claude, we actually clicked on code. Go ahead.
create a an easy to use prompt library that I could give out to all my members of the mastermind. And maybe give it some examples of the prompt we have.
That I can give out to my members of my.
Look in the past chat for examples of prompts we just created today.
Yeah, it's not going to see that because I'm in a different thing.
Give it a try. I think it will.
Okay, so that's good.
Yeah, let's run with that.
Take a peek. Okay, and we'll do it in Bogen.ai.
Bogen AI is good.
Yep. Okay, there we go. So once again, Eitan's the coder and he's into building these things. This is actually setting up a container for us to build. I actually put the prompts into um, a Google Doc, a Google Sheet that you
So
could
why
actually.
don't you reference the Google Sheets to Claude?
Okay, yeah. So we're just building it out here. That's great. I want to, you know what it is? It's not so much that it actually comes up, Eitan. It's just one of those things that you're making multi-part things that have to be done here. You do that a lot, you know?
Again, I apologize.
No worries. That'll build itself out. The point of the story is this, that what I'm trying to get all of you to do is think hard about the workflow that you do and whether it's a prompt library that you create for yourself or something that actually gets as simple as putting into a Google Doc or Notion. Anybody use Notion? See if show of hands. One, two, two. Okay. No, three. Up there's Lori. Thank you, Lori. So, for those of you who use Notion, you know what I mean. Notion, we probably will have a special meeting on an unscheduled time about how to use Notion. Great platform, very tricky. They always get you to subscribe to things that you really don't want to always subscribe to, but I do stand by it as a great system for organization. Let's go back
And
to
I
it.
confirm it is really great. It's very versatile. You could do so many amazing things with it.
Okay, so this
Hey,
thing's still building out here. Um, and it's
Edmund,
actually
can I just a quick question.
sure.
Is it possible to do something to have it build a reusable, to have it come up with a prompt that builds a reusable template that provides a weekly update to a client that like would include interest rate changes, market specific data, number of showings on their property, number of offers received, like the weekly. Is there a way to do something?
Absolutely. There,
Okay.
and I think I'll give you an example now, but I'll tell you that that warrants a whole other meeting. There's
Okay.
something that within Claude that are repeatable scheduled tasks that you could do. I'll give you all of you just a couple of things just to digress just a minute. One of the things that I did, okay, we'll go into Claude because I think it's worth it, is I have a sales automation engine. Can you describe it? Okay, so it's going to give the actual description for all of you to see. Here's what I built. What it does, queries Bogen Home CRM, contacts database and Notion for St. Andrews sellers, whose follow-up date is due. Then it generates personalized draft emails in your voice. You approve before anything sends. Non-negotiable, since these are club neighbors and you can't read as automated. After you send, the loop updates the last contact and pushes follow-up dates out 14 days. Something like that, maybe? Hassan? Kind of,
Uh,
sort
yeah. No,
of?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I was thinking like a weekly update that I would send to a listing client that provides like data specific to their property, like number of showings, number of offers, and
Sure.
then market specific stuff like here's what happened with interest rates this week, here's the number of new listings that came to market in your zip code.
Okay, well, let me show you two things. First of all, I'm going to show you on the scheduled section here what that is in Claude. Second thing, I'm going to say um, what when uh, when did I last follow up with Alan Reed? It's a client of mine. So it's going to look it up. July 19th went live. Uh, since want me to pull it, I'm like, sure. So now it's got this whole thing where it sees, it goes into Notion. It's actually pulling the information about Alan Reed. Again, if you guys want, we can do a meeting on this. I always like to say we could geek out on AI and I could show you just how this is going up. The next follow-up is dated August 2nd, so it's not due yet. Worth flagging. The record show he's hot, seller, buyer, listing. There's this address, blah, 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 blah. So it gives all the information that I've actually had about him. And I could say, can you write an email to him saying that I got his response and that I am still traveling, but can we speak next week? So great. Now it's going to actually do that because this whole thing was actually, here's a short one. Hopefully it comes up quickly because I want to move on to scheduled. Okay. Alan, got your note. Thanks for following up. And no, I didn't think you'd forgotten about me. I'm still traveling. So it actually read the note. I'm still traveling at the moment, but I'd rather give you a real answer on St. Andrew's pricing, blah, 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 blah. I'm not going to send this because there are things that I want to change. Claude actually gives you a couple of other options here. So you could actually see the differences between these things. Does it work for you or Mady? It knows her name. That's great stuff. Again, not going to send it right now. I'm just doing this as example. I will show Hassan what he asked, and that is schedule tasks. Here, you could actually create a daily briefing and you could actually send it out to certain people. So if I wanted to create a task here, I could create it with Claude, and it's setting up a workspace. Again, it digresses a bit, but I think it is kind of important. And Hassan, you did bring up a good point with it. So I could say, I let this thing. I want to schedule a task. Works. Okay. Send an email to Hassan Bassi. Bassi, right, Hassan? Is he still there?
Yeah.
Two Z's,
ZZ.
ZZI. Yeah.
That's correct?
ZZI.
ZZI, sorry. Okay, and I'm going to do it weekly. And let's say we're going to do it at 12 p.m. Eastern. I'm going to do an email. And what should send an email to Hassan? How often weekly? What time? What should it say? And it's working on actually doing that. This is going to be something that's scheduled in my Claude that will deliver. But the one thing that I didn't put in here is the actual content. So which day of the week should it run? Let's say Wednesday, because today's Wednesday. Weekly status update, we could actually do that. What is Hassan? It's in my email. I got your email address. Okay, so it's got all of that. Now it's asking all these different questions that we have. And it's got working through the complex response. So it's got all this. Now, again, we still need to, at the end of this, add the context. Here, we could actually do a coaching check-in. Again, I don't want to pull this back too much, but based on what I put out for a lot of different clients, I could have this automation. Now, once again, I don't want to run the danger of getting too canned, especially for somebody like, a coaching client that I meet with once a week, or even twice a week in some cases. But on the other hand, if there are 700 neighbors that I have that might be considering selling their home at some point, I might want to set this up as a monthly thing to give some type of update about the club. So let's see what it's doing. You're drafting Edmund Bogen's weekly coaching check-in to Hassan. Search the email for the last several days, and it's going to do all this. I could also reformat this to make sure that it's going to send exactly the way I want it sent, which is kind of cool. I'm going to be able to actually pull information from various resources and use it. Again, I don't want to schedule it just now. You know what, Hassan, do you mind if I schedule it? You could just tell me when it gets to be too much, I'll cancel it.
No, it's fine.
Okay. So it's creating a trigger and it's going through a whole work process. That's basically following your nose through AI to be able to get this to communicate in a way that makes a lot of sense. Again, I know we've made a right turn here off the original topic, but I think, again, it's kind of important and it does apply itself on a day-to-day basis of what we're actually doing and what we're trying to accomplish. You are not communicating enough to your clients. You should say that to yourself. You think that you are. And again, the best example I could give you is people say, well, they don't want to hear from me. They don't want to hear the crap that you have to say. They don't want to hear just sold, just listed, under contract, maybe a little bit. But I could tell you, a lot of you have said, am I in France right now? You noticed that. You didn't notice that I closed two deals last week, did you? And I did. Okay, when I was gone, two deals closed. My team was able to take care of that. That's not what you saw. You saw me in France harvesting honey with bees all over me in my bee suit. That's what you actually saw because that's how people think. And that's what I want you to think about. I want you to be able to have that knee-jerk reaction to me, and I want to be able to kind of skate along the surface and remind everyone that I sell real estate. That's it's just if you want to be able to communicate with everyone, you've got to be able to have a container to get you through. You've got to be able to take yourself in and be able to make that container. So the prompts are extremely important. Having a prompt library to get that from point A to point B is really, really how you deliver it is really important. Let's just take a look. Aton left that thing here. Done, scheduled every week. Hold on a second.
I have a question.
Please, who is this?
Hedika.
Hedika,
Hi.
please.
Hi. So basically, my question is that I never use Claude. Okay, ChatGPT is my friend, so
Good.
he knows me and he knows everything about me. So if I want to switch, can I kind of share my relationship to Claude through
Yeah.
how does that work? So, I don't need
Just
any.
use Codex.
What is it?
Okay, Aton, come on.
Why not?
Make it
If it's
easy
good
on the
with ChatGPT, you should use Codex that will allow you to do more.
Okay,
Yeah, but
yes.
if I want to switch to cloud and I want my relationship with ChatGPT to be moved there, how do I do it?
I'm
That's my question.
I'm glad you brought it up. So
Yeah.
here's what you do. Everybody make note of this because this is a very common question. You go to ChatGPT. How how hold on. You know everything there is to know about me. I want to have Claude know everything about me. How do I get the information from you into Claude? Okay, it's a simple prompt. And
Wow.
now what this thing's going to do is think about it, and it's going to be able to search all of this and give you the prompts to actually put into Claude. On the other hand, use Claude's built-in memory import. Okay. By the way, I knew it was going to say that. How does your memory import work? And now it's going to basically two mechanisms, persistent memory files, and knows all those people, past search, practical differences. Now I'm going to say, I want to import all the information I have from ChatGPT into you. How do I go about that? Please explain. And explain to me concisely and simply. By the way, you can set the tone as well. Practical path, export from ChatGPT. Settings, data control, export data. You see that? Grab the memory first. It gives you all these step-by-step instructions of how to go from one into the next. You seeing this, Hedika?
Yeah.
Okay. One warning, ChatGPT's memory will contain things I'm not allowed to store, health details, family names, financial specifics. So it's not going to necessarily get every single thing based on their own rules and their own criteria. But
Okay.
if you do that, here, I will, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to put this into the prompt sheet,
Yeah, that would be nice. Yeah.
and that way you guys have all that in here. So it'll be kind of an archive of just this meeting. There you go. Export from ChatGPT, data controls. That will give it. If there's everything, I mean, one of the things that I do is I sit with one computer that's open and I keep the voice mode on. And ChatGPT in the last 2 weeks, actually, we didn't even talk about this. Their voice has become really quite remarkable. I hope that you'll be able to hear this, but it's just gotten quick. Hey, chat, can you explain to my group here what you've done as far as OpenAI has changed the chat feature a little bit? If you could just look that up. Okay, you're behind me now. Just explain what this actually means and what's changed.
One moment. Here's the big shift with ChatGPT's new GPT Live is that it feels much more like a real conversation instead of having to wait after each phrase. It handles interruptions better, pauses more naturally, and connects voice
Okay, so
with all the
what
regular.
you're saying is if I interrupt you quite rudely, like if you were human, you'd probably take offense to it. You're going to be able to shift gears and start responding to me a little bit quicker.
Exactly. It's just more of a natural flow, like what we're doing right now.
Okay, so right now I'm speaking to about 21 different people, and they're from all over the country. Can you, and in fact, I've got even some people in Brazil. Isn't that cool?
Wow, that's very cool.
Yeah.
Honestly, it just makes it easier to pivot mid thought, and you're not stuck waiting for me to finish,
Okay,
a reply.
can Greg Coggins ask you a question?
Sure.
I I just want to know whether or not you can translate live. In other words, as the person speaking Portuguese speaks to me, you translate it to English, and as I speak English to the Portuguese speaker, you translate it to Portuguese without me having to prompt you in between.
Checking. Yes, JBT Live can handle that back and forth so that the conversation just flows naturally. There will be a tiny delay, but for real time translation, it's really practical. Just let me know when you want to start, and I'll switch into translator mode.
Bonjour, ChatGPT. Comment allez-vous?
Je vais très bien, merci.
It
Ah,
did not translate.
it did not translate? That didn't?
It answered you. It did not translate, but it said.
Yeah, you see, Eitan brought up a good point. You didn't translate. You just answered me.
One moment. You're right. That was not translation, it was an answer. If you want translation, you need to say so. If you said it like translate everything I say into English and everything they say into French, I
Yeah,
will
but
just
that's just
write
what
the
I
translation.
said.
Eitan, why do you always try and get us? I'm not sure why you do that. It's a really bad habit. I mean it.
Fair
Come
point.
on. We're in the meeting here. Like, what are you doing? Just stop that. Okay, guys. So we're gonna get to wants, needs, and brags in just a second. But
What about the repository of
the
the
repository. Yes, yes, yes. Let's take a look at what's actually gotten built out. One moment, please. I've got so many threads that are actually open here. Were we doing it in Claude or ChatGPT? We did it in Claude, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Hey, Edmund, while you're
Sir,
doing that,
please.
since you're a Flex MLS user, do you know that they are now integrating with ChatGPT?
I was not aware of that, but I'm glad that you're telling me.
Yeah,
So what's
Flex has already done it. It's up to your association to turn it on for your association.
ah,
Ours is going live with it this week.
okay. Very cool. I will speak to the association and see. So, but to get to Eitan's point here, copy and go prompts for real estate pros. I guess this is going to be the let's take a look at that. This is going to be what the repository actually looks like. Eitan, I think it built a mock-up of what this thing can be. I don't know if it actually coded it. Page renders beautifully on this. A single self-contained. Prompts voice. Let's just see. Want me to open a PR for this or branch? Hey, Tom, what do you want us to do?
PR.
And a PR is a pull request, guys. So it's going to put this together for us, and we could actually create a prompt library using Claude Code. Again, this is not terribly complex because the computer already knows so much about me and about what I'm doing. And you can see over here, once it's deployed, it's going to be deployed up here, bogan.ai/mastermind/prompt vault. And again, depending upon, we need to review it and make sure that we don't have any of our secret prompts, but we will share it on the WhatsApp once it's actually prepared and once we make sure that it's clean from our own secrets. Okay, with that said, I'd like to get to wants, needs, and brags. Eitan, do we have a topic for next week yet?
No, we do not.
We do not. Okay, we're going to get to that and get that out to all of you. We're also going to have another Claude code kind of moment. Does anyone know? And if you saw my post the other day, first of all, you got to tell me if you'd be interested in this. And Hedeka Eitan was just mentioning it to you. Claude Code is by Claude, is by Anthropic. Codex is part of OpenAI, which is ChatGPT. These are both coding tools. What a lot of people say is it would be great if I could get to use both at the same time. Now you can. Somebody actually created a skill where you can invoke Codex in Claude Code and you can invoke Claude Code in Codex. This is a real geeky topic, so I'm not going to make it a normally scheduled meeting, but if you'd be interested in learning about it and learning how you could use both at the same time, please do send me a direct message or respond in here, and we will invite you to that. Again, it's not going to be part of our regularly scheduled meetings because it's just a little bit more advanced. Scott is asking Eitan if the next meeting should be Notion. I think that that should be a special meeting too. What do you think, Eitan?
I'd love to have a meeting on Notion. So thank you, Scott, for bringing it up.
Yeah.
Let's do that.
Okay. I mean, provided that we could actually provide value to people who don't want to use Notion. Again, I promise all of you stuff that will enhance your real estate career. I don't want to alienate anyone who's not doing that. Eitan, what's up?
So Notion has a free tier that is actually pretty extensive if you ignore all the requests to pay.
Yeah, it really is, but they do fool you into paying.
Okay, but they're trying to make a living, but you could use Notion
Yeah.
extensively for free if you just say no to subscribing.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So listen, Danine's interested, Scott's interested. Greg is asking why would he want to use both? Again, it's your two favorite teachers battling each other out to be able to get two various kinds of perspectives in there. It's also OpenAI does different things than Anthropic. For example, OpenAI can actually make visuals. It could actually make images, whereas Claude can't. So when you actually mix the two, you're able to invoke it. For example, my newsletter that I'm putting out, I was able to do it all in one shot as opposed to going back and forth between the two. Little stuff, again, more geeky type of stuff. If you're interested in nerding out with me, do let me know. But right now, I want to get to wants, needs, and brags. Now's the time in the meeting to talk about what you want, what you need, and what you'd like to brag about. I'm going to California. That's my brag. Who's got something to brag about? It could be any deals that you've done, weddings.
I mean,
My brag is I just learned how to play mahjong, so I'm very excited.
It's a hot new game now. Well, not new. It's a hot ancient game. Everyone's
I know, but I think it's necessary to know these days.
you'll get a lot of
Also,
this.
I cannot show you, but I just I don't know if we can see. This is my dough. I just made it while I was listening to this, so I
You
just
made
wanted to brag about it. It's a
your
dough,
it's
challah
your
dough. I'm making a
It's your
dough.
dough. Okay, I thought you know,
No,
and
yeah,
it's not money. It's actual dough. What are you making exactly?
I'm challah. I'm baking challah.
You're making
Challah.
challah. I got it.
Yeah.
Okay, challah. That's a
I love
traditional.
challah.
It's a
Yeah. Come
traditional
over.
egg
I'll
bread
send it to
served
you.
typically on
So
Shabbat.
how long do you rest it?
But I can rest it like forever. If I don't plan to make it, I can just let it be till later this afternoon when I'm done with everything. And then I just made the dough, leave it there.
And you bake it for Friday?
Yeah, but usually if I make it today, I'm going to freeze it because I want it to be very, very fresh for Friday. And I didn't want to make it tomorrow because, tomorrow is the fast, so I didn't want to do it tomorrow.
Okay. Well,
Nice.
that's good. Everyone over at Hedeka's house for some delicious challah. We're going to get Deneen, we're going to get Lavette, and then we're going to get Scott because I'm just picking people in their order. Deneen, talk to me.
yes, I need an agent in Akron, Ohio. Does anyone know anyone there? I've got somebody selling property in Akron, Ohio.
Well, I was there 4 times last year. I'm kidding. I've never been to Akron, Ohio. I don't think anyone's ever been to Akron, Ohio. I mean,
Yeah, I know. I can't
Well,
find
it's
anyone.
interesting. I've within the last, I mean, obviously Michigan is adjacent to Ohio, and within the last week and a half, I've had clients in Michigan that have asked me if I am licensed in Ohio because they're looking for property in Ohio. So, and now you say this, so maybe that's my next move. I should get licensed in Ohio as well.
Oh, okay.
all roads lead to Akron. I will give it some thought, Deneen, but right now we're coming up. You know what? It's a good thing to put into the chat, by the way, into the WhatsApp. For the clients here who are not part of the WhatsApp group, please do let us know and we'll add you. It's a great little communication tool between everyone. Lavette, please unmute yourself and enlighten us.
Hi. So I just wanted to share some good news. I actually picked up 2 listings from the dialer this week. I got a referral. I sent out a couple referrals, and I have 6 pending transactions that will close actually between the end of this month and next month. And I'm going back to Panama next month for a mental health break.
Yeah, you in Panama. You love that Panama.
I love it there.
Yeah, it's all great stuff. Well, thank you. Congrats. I think it's great. I would love to have host you at a meeting in Panama. That'd be kind of fun.
Yeah, well, we got to get to Boca Raton first.
Yeah, hey, Alton, come on over. The water's great. Scott, what's going on? Why don't you unmute yourself? Tell everyone who you are and
Yeah,
where you are.
I'm hanging in Brazil today, but anyway, I don't know if this my comments should be pushed to another, I'll call it venue, but as a newbie, just trying to play catch up a little bit. And then I've got a couple, so if maybe you could comment about that.
Okay.
And then also curious, when you were going through, oh, I guess I'll call it the process that appeared to me you were tagging into your CRM and the example I guess that you were showing today, is that through a Zapier? I'm curious what CRM you're using. If you could just maybe elaborate a little bit deeper, if possible, on the process of what was occurring.
At what point?
Let's see. I think you tapped a CRM. I think you
You tapped into Notion.
I tapped into Notion. Okay, good point. So the short answer, what Scott is asking is about Zapier, or if you're French, you'd probably say Zapier. Eitan, you'd say Zapier, right? If you were saying in French.
Bien
Okay.
sûr.
Okay, bien sûr. So great. So Zapier is kind of a doorway between various apps. It's a connector. It's to be able to say, great, I have this CRM, uh, this database that I keep all my information in, and I'd like to connect it into Claude Code. So the short answer, Scott, no, it wasn't Zapier that connected it. It's something called an MCP, Model Content Protocol, which actually is unique to, well, it was unique to Anthropic or Open or Claude, that they were the ones who actually built the MCP server. Again, I don't want to get just, guys, keep it really easy. It's a doorway between two different items. That's it. Let's dumb this down as much as possible because people's eyes glaze over when I start mentioning acronyms, and I just don't want to lose you here. I actually set that up and said, wait a minute, I'd love to have that connectivity between Claude and Notion. And I'd love to have that connectivity between Claude and uh, my Gmail. And I'd like to have that connectivity between all of these different things so that when I use it, I'm going to be able to do various stuff between both of those things. In other words, I'm almost like using Claude within Notion. Notion has the information about you, Scott, for example. I want to send you an email. Perhaps it was about today's meeting, and I could actually put that meeting in and summarize it. And I could say, great, based upon what you know about Scott, which hopefully I would have in my CRM, and what was discussed in today's meeting, why don't you send him a personalized um, email and about why he would want to know more about this. It's now synthesizing information. It's taking the information from the transcript of this meeting, the information that I have about you in Notion, and putting it all together in a Gmail, which of course, again, you got to read it. You can't just send it out. And it's going to hopefully get 80 or 90% of the way there to be able to send you information that you're going to want. Again, it's just orchestrating information. Does that help? Does that answer the question? Okay, it's
Yeah, thank you.
we
We're
will
good.
do something about connectivity and connectors. Again, I don't want to lose sight of the fact that we're a real estate group of people. We're getting more and more and more into AI, and I want to be able to just address real estate concerns as well, which is why I'm making separate meetings for things like this. But it is important stuff. Mark Lawrence, please.
Yes.
Hi.
Um, I think Hedeka should definitely do a marketing piece about how to make challah. And because as we were saying, real estate, just sold, just listed, but Hedeka's famous challah, that will definitely get the attention of people. And you could probably do it in 2 seconds. So I think that's a great marketing idea. And
Okay.
for Akron, Ohio, of course, I just typed into Claude, best agents in Akron, Ohio, and there's your list of people if you want to use it as a search engine.
So what did you do? Give the prompt exactly.
Uh, Please give me the top residential real estate agents in Akron, Ohio.
Okay, and what did you get?
Um,
Oh, here he posted
yeah,
it in the prompt
it's in the chat.
Okay.
in the
High
chat. Yeah.
volume, Ricardo Simonelli closed 89 transactions in the past 12 months. Cleaver Real Estate, Damian Baden from Realty Done, and other well-reviewed ones on Yelp are down there as well. So,
Oh,
you know,
great. Thanks.
there's a starting place.
Yeah, I mean, again,
Mhm.
it's doing all sorts of stuff for us, and I like your idea about getting Hedeka to make Hala. In fact, I just while you were talking, prompted ChatGPT to make an infographic, and I did two things. I said, look up Hedeka, and then make an infographic on how to make Hala, and we'll hopefully come up with this to actually. Well, let's take a look at what's coming up. Again, this is real time, wasn't planned. So first, look up public email element profile, then build a photo-based step-by-step Hala infographic on her branding and identity. So it's actually looking you up. I don't
With
know.
too many Z's, but
Okay,
probably
no, but it
I think
should get you though.
yeah.
It should be able to actually get that, and then
Okay.
we'll actually take a look at this. Again, it's a little
You,
silly, but I
you make
do
a
this.
little label that says Chedeka's Challahs. Um,
It's a little silly, but let me just say this that you could. I, I'm trying to get you to get the world's greatest idea off the silliness. I'm trying to get you to think, wait a minute, Hedeka's learning Mahjong. Great. Why don't you make an infographic on Mahjong and, a beginner's guide to it, and it's brought to you by Hedeka. Your friends probably don't know about ChatGPT. You could probably print this up in color and bring it to the people that you've just met. Your information and telephone number is going to be on it. They're going to say thank you because they haven't gotten anything. And by the way, they now know that you're a realtor. Well, that's pretty basic stuff, right? I mean, that's pretty, marketing 101. But guess what? It kind of works. Ah, look at this. Well, that's not Hedeka. It looks like you Hedeka, but it got the Douglas Elliman. How to make challah, and it's this challah bread. I don't know if I would do this, but it actually it's pretty cool, right? I mean, you're
Yeah.
able to really pull all this up,
Nice. Yeah.
and it gets here. And oh, look at this. I think it got your Elliman email
Without
correct.
one Z. No, one Z is yeah. It's
Okay,
A
so
Z I Z I. Yeah. Okay.
okay, but you know how to do it now, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you
Okay.
could look at this and say, no, their recipe sucks. I want to change it. And that's
So
great. I want you to do that.
so
Or
what was the prompt you used to make this? What did you make? Or like
it was very simple. I just said, look up Hedeka with too many Z's and Element agents in New York, make an infographic about how to make challah bread, make it a step by step with photos. You could do whatever you want with it.
okay.
But
Okay.
you now have this, and you could do the same thing, by the way. I think that if you did this with your Mahjong and you actually are you learning with a big group of people?
It's a class in library. It's a class, so there are like three tables of four. No, it's 16. No, it's a small group
Great.
relatively.
So you're going to go out, you're going to make an infographic right now. It's going to brand you, get a little picture of yourself up top, tell everyone that you made this just for them. Hopefully they'll like it. You know, you like to help people out. Here's the information. I hope it works for you. Is everyone in their 60s and 70s? Like, is that the group? Is it much younger, much older? What do you think?
The group, no, definitely, yeah, 60s. Yeah,
Okay, so I could almost guarantee that they don't know how to do this.
yeah.
Okay, not to, I could almost guarantee that a bunch of 60-year-olds haven't made, and I'm almost there. I'm 58, so I'm not critical, but I could almost guarantee they're going to look at this and say, "Wow, look at the amount of time that Hedka put into this. Holy cow, what a great thing!" Now, 16 people that you've never met before know who you are. What's the value of that? That was worth coming to this meeting today. I guarantee it.
Okay, thank you.
Lavette,
I sent you and Aton a flyer of what I created, kind of like I don't know if you would call it infographic, but you don't have to take a look at it now, but just when you get time, take a look and
where
see
did you
what you
send it?
think. I emailed it to
I
you.
liked it.
You liked it? Oh, okay.
Hold on, you emailed me something?
Yes.
Okay, I'll check it out when I have a moment. Oh, and another thing for all of you to know, you could continue to use the email addresses that you have with us, but Aton made live our Bogen.ai email addresses. You could reach us both at Edmund@Bogen.ai, Bogen.ai, and Aton, Eytan, at Bogen.ai. So if you want to use that, that's great. Scott, go ahead. And by the way, guys, now is just time for additional
Thank
chats.
you.
If you have to run, please go ahead.
Okay.
Scott, please go ahead and ask.
The recording for, I think it was last week's, I didn't see that. I was
It,
running around on the platform trying to find the recording for that, or I don't know if it just
it
hasn't gotten completed just yet.
no, regrettably it got deleted. That said, I stand by what I always say, and I will give you a little bit of extra time if you want to review that topic with me and give me a call. Again, that's not the way we like to do things. It almost didn't record today because it was normally supposed to be set up that way, but fortunately, I looked at it and I saw that whoever set up the meeting forgot, and
Okay, it wasn't me.
okay.
It was Claude. Now Claude has an
Okay, yeah,
MCP
don't you blame the
to
AI.
Zoom
We're building a whole
that
business on
creates the
this.
meeting and doesn't follow the template.
Yeah. Okay. Anyhow, but yeah, Scott, if you have questions about it, please do give me a
Was
call.
was there a workbook or anything on that?
Eitan,
Or
can you
any
send him the
PDF?
workbook from last week's meeting?
Yeah, I'll post it right here. 1 second.
Okay.
Thanks very much.
Yeah. And Scott, again, every now and then we do have a technical gaffe. It happens. And I don't make it's not an excuse, it's a reason. If anybody feels as though they've missed out as a result of that, please call me. We will always make good on what we do. It was regrettable because we really did have a good meeting last week, and I really did want to post it. So if there's additional content that you want, please do let me know. And Aton's busy doing that. Okay, who else? Andy, Hope, Hope, Gag. I'm trying to pronounce that last name. Hope Gagbly. Well, okay. Karen, good to see you. Andy A. Anyone else? Lori O'Neill. Any questions? Mike? Anyone? Anyone? Okay, guys. Look, I will, for my Californians, if you want to join me for lunch, I'm going to be in Santa Monica on Friday at 12 o'clock at a place called Tartine. That's 12 o'clock West Coast time. And I'm taking a bunch of us that participate in this for lunch. I'd love for you to join us. I always love going out there. And I'm going to be in New York in September. So for our New Yorkers, if you're around, I'd love to be able to see you there as well. And God knows where else I'll be traveling. Scott, are you going to be back stateside at any point? No? Sticking to Brazil?
Moving target. If so, it'd be Chicago and maybe Phoenix.
Yeah. Okay. Well, and I'll be in Chicago again. I go to Chicago quite a bit as well. So if you guys are around, I love meeting with people one on one. Someday I'll meet with Lavette one on one. That's one of my big, that's one of the big goals in life is to meet the great Lavette. But okay, guys, thank you so much for coming today. I'm grateful to all of you, and I look forward to seeing you next Wednesday for another exciting episode of Edmund's Mastermind, and we'll get the full calendar out for August real soon. And Eitan will give you a buzz. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Ed.